Hi, I'm Joe Bauernfreund and I'm the CEO of Asset Value Investors. Welcome to our offices in Cavendish Square in London. I have been with AVI for over 20 years and I've been the CEO for 8 years. Over that time, we've expanded the team substantially and I take an enormous amount of pride in the success we've had over the years and will continue to have in future years. For almost 4 decades, AVI has consistently applied the same investment approach, focusing on identifying good quality companies trading at discount to their sum of the parts value or intrinsic value. Our concentrated, high conviction, but diversified portfolio spans sectors and geographies around the world. Our returns are derived from 3 sources: the growth in the value of the business, the narrowing of the discount, and the compounding effect when those 2 things happen at the same time. AVI has been following this approach for almost 40 years and has delivered strong returns over that time.
Hi, I'm Wilfred Craigie, and I'm an investment analyst at Asset Value Investors. We're global equity investors who pursue a bottom-up approach to invest around the world in the most interesting ideas. We pursue a distinct and unique investment philosophy focused on companies trading at discounts to their net asset value. So we focus on holding companies, conglomerates, and other structures the market finds difficult to value. We focus on 3 things. We're looking for durable businesses that are growing in value, trading at discounted valuations, and with catalysts to unlock and grow value. So that means we're trying to buy a pound of assets that can grow into £1.20, £1.50, and in due course £2. We're trying to buy that pound of assets at 60 or 70 pence. And finally, we're looking for catalysts that can narrow the gap between the price and that value. We find that over time, the combination of those 3 things drives attractive long-term investment returns.
Hi, I'm Daniel Lee, co-head of Japan research at AVI. While AVI has been investing in Japan for 3 decades now, it was in 2015 that we noticed a significant change in Japanese companies' attitudes towards shareholders, which was catalyzed by the Abe administration with the introduction of the Corporate Governance Code and Stewardship Code. Since that time, the regulatory reform has improved both for corporate reform and shareholder engagement. Our focus at AVI is on cash-rich corporations trading at deep discounts to their true valuation, where AVI can work with management on growing and unlocking that corporate value over time. At AVI, we're very much focused on the engagement with our companies, and that's to grow corporate value, whether that be through margin enhancement, balance sheet efficiency, or corporate governance reform. We do this mostly in private, but sometimes in public, and at all times we're seeking to build long-lasting relationships with management teams. An example of this process is Fujitec, a global elevator and escalator manufacturer. We were shareholders in that company for over 5 years and worked with management both in private and in public on narrowing the discount at which they trade to global peers and enhancing their margins to the potential that we saw. Over that time, the board announced several new strategic initiatives and new outside directors were brought on to improve the company. As a result of this, the share price increased by over 200%.
Hi, I'm Tom Trainer, Head of Research at AVI. While there's lots of closed-end funds listed across the globe, we tend to focus on the London listed market where corporate governance is far better. You can divide closed-end funds into 2 broad categories: those that invest in publicly quoted securities and those that invest in private unlisted assets. We predominantly invest in the private asset funds as a greater complexity gives more scope for inefficiencies in pricing. The private asset classes are quite wide-ranging, spanning from private equity to venture capital, from renewable energy to infrastructure, to even more esoteric asset classes. Discounts can be quite volatile, driven by a change in sentiment, perhaps sparked by macro concerns or regulatory changes particular to the closed-end fund market. But as an experienced investor in what is a very specialist area, AVI can capitalise on that volatility, which allows us to buy assets more cheaply than we otherwise could do, and do so with a greater margin of safety than would otherwise be the case. We take a very engaged, activist approach to all of our closed-end fund investments. We tend to be one of the largest, if not the largest investor in these companies, and we use that influence to engage with managers and boards of these companies for the benefit of all shareholders. While we primarily engage in private and would rather it remained private, On occasion, we do think it appropriate to take our concerns public.
I hope you've enjoyed learning more about what we do at AVI. If you'd like any further information or would like to speak to anybody on our team, we welcome your inquiry.